What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming at you today with some more Destiny. We're going to do part 2 of my new player guide, the one where I'm taking you from level 1 to 20 through the campaign and story mode of the game. If you remember from episode 1, we went ahead and completed the first mission, got our ship, and went to the tower. So here we are in the mighty level 2 with all of our common gear. And again, I'm playing my hunter. He's an exo male. And today for part 2, we're going to actually do a little tour of the tower. It's where we left off last time, so we're going to head to the tower. And what I'm basically going to do is show you guys around a little bit, show you what you can do in the social area, all the different vendors and the places you can go to get some gear throughout the game. So sit back here, enjoy this loading screen of our lovely Rust Bucket ship here. Gotta love loading screens. And Destiny is all about loading screens. I guess in the meantime we can kind of look at our characters. We left off at level 2. We're still stuck with the Kovstov. Yeah, we got the Calcutta LR2 sniper. And all of our gear is the standalone, standard prototype stuff. So we don't have a whole lot here, nothing at all. There we go. So we're done with one loading screen and we're going to go to another one. You know, this is almost inexcusable on next gen, having to wait for all these loading screens. But here we go. Okay, finally. Alright, so here we are in the tower, and if you remember the last time we had a couple of missions that we had to do here. After completing the first mission of the game, you'll be introduced to your Vanguard Mentor. There are 3 of them down here, Hunter, Warlock, and Titan. So as the Hunter, we're going to go with Cade 6, he's the Hunter Mentor. Anytime you get a new quest here in the tower, you'll get a little exclamation point. That'll be green. So we're going to go to him. Welcome, Guardian. Welcome to the fight. He's going to give us a new chess piece. And just to take a quick look at him here, you'll notice he does have some gear that you can purchase, some common gear. And every so often he'll have some uncommon and some rare gear here. I would suggest checking back throughout the campaign when you're in the tower, just to see if he's got something that's better than what you're currently using. As you level up from 1 to 20, it actually is pretty important to always check for new gear. And there is some pretty good gear progression through the story mode. Now once you reach level 20, you'll notice this little meter over here. This is Vanguard Reputation. You get Vanguard Reputation by doing patrol missions, doing bounties, doing strikes. And you'll fill up this meter. It continues to go up every time, like you see 0 out of 1500. When you hit 1500, you'll advance to rank 1, and then it's like 2500 to hit rank 2, and so on and so forth. When you hit rank 2, you're able to buy armor from your Vanguard Mentor. You'll see Vanguard rank 2, you need a Vanguard Commendation, and 120 Vanguard Marks. Now Vanguard Marks and Crucible Marks, you get those by playing PvP or PvE. The Vanguard Marks you can start earning once you hit level 18. You'll get those from strikes, you'll get those from daily missions, public events. And you can only get 100 a week, and it caps at 200, so if you go 2 weeks and max out your marks each week, you won't be able to earn any on week 3 unless you spend some marks. But you can see here you've got, you know, leg armor, you've got your class item, which for the hunter is the cape, cloak, whatever you want to call it. And you know, you got your chest piece and you got your gauntlets here. He's also got some emblems you can buy once you hit rank 2 and rank 1. But definitely the easiest way once you hit level 20 to get some decent legendary gear is to do the Vanguard, because it's usually the fastest and easiest way to acquire it, besides getting lucky in RNG. It's a little bit quicker than the Crucible. But we'll do more on that once we hit level 20, but just wanted to give you guys kind of a preview. So he gave me my new piece. It says to equip new armor. So you're going to go back to your character screen. And we have a new Tracker 1.0. It goes from 18 up to 23 defense. So we're going to equip that. and you'll get a little appearance. I usually dismantle all this stuff. You get glimmer, you get weapon parts, you get armor parts for some of it. Alright, so now we've got another exclamation point here for the Gunsmith. The Gunsmith is really only useful for a couple things. He's very underutilized vendor in the game. You'll use him quite a bit from 1 to 20, but after you get to level 20, he's only good for a couple bounties and buying rare fusion rifles and heavy ammo synth. So this is Banshee 44. He's the Gunsmith.
Let's get you back out there.
And he's got a new weapon for us. So you've got a Marshall A, which is an auto rifle. You've got a pretty high rate of fire, decent impact on this. 22 round magazine. Umbra 1. This is a pulse rifle. These fire three round bursts. These are they're kind of the redheaded stepchild of the game right now. There's a lot of stuff with pulse rifles. Some are good, some are bad, but overall they're just not as good as the other 3 weapon types, at least in my opinion. You got the Trax Callum Scout Rifle. This is a single shot rifle, pretty decent impact, decent range. And then you've got your hand cannon, which I love hand cannons in this game. This is a good one. It's got a 6-round magazine, which is pretty decent for early in the game. Now, I would suggest picking something based on your playstyle. Hand cannons, if you're a very accurate shot, these are pretty good for you. But one thing I will say is in the 1 to 20 campaign, sometimes the magazine size is not that great, because when you deal with shielded enemies in the campaign, hand cannons can struggle a little bit unless you're using some of the more powerful ones. Scout rifles are a single shot. These are kind of like the battle rifle, or I'm sorry, the DMR in Halo, or if you play like Call of Duty, like the Mark 14, the FAL, weapons like that. Very powerful single shot, but again require a lot of accuracy. So if you're an accurate player, I would suggest taking either of these. Pulse rifle. These are kind of like the battle rifle in Halo, 3-round burst. You can do a little bit better with these if you're not as accurate, but if you're an accurate player, they work pretty well too. And then your auto rifle is kind of your spray and pray. Some of them have very high rate of fire and low stability. Some have high stability and low rate of fire. Just depends on what you're looking for. If you're playing a melee class up close, if you're playing a Titan, I like to use the auto rifles quite a bit. But for my hunter, I'm going to go ahead and stick with Scout Rifle. And you'll notice he's got some other weapons up here. He's got some shotguns. The Galahad, that's a really good auto rifle. You see these all have level restrictions, so like I said, check back often. He'll have green weapons and blue weapons too, so you can get a little bit better gear. So now that we've bought our weapon, we're going to equip it. And you'll see these, not too much here for perks. There's just kinetic damage. Now ships are they're just a cosmetic thing. Like I said, they're mainly just a loading screen you'll see when you're going into missions. You can't fly your ship, you can't really use it in the game. So for me, they become something to buy whenever I have too much glimmer and I don't know what to spend it on. I'll come see what, this is Amanda Holiday, she's the shipwright. So there's your first ship, the Arcadia class. It's very, I don't know, I just don't like the way it looks. But you'll notice here she has some ship blueprints. Once you hit level 5, you can purchase these. And level 15 sometimes. You can see there you have little different looks to them. But she'll change out her stock every couple of days. And that's pretty cool looking. A lot of these are just your run-of-the-mill common ships. But she does, every once in a while, she'll get a rare ship or a common ship that look pretty cool. And she also sells Sparrows up here, so if you want to get a different looking Sparrow, you can do that. So anyway, so we're here in the hangar area of the tower. I guess I'll go ahead and start. Since we're ready to go back to orbit now, I can go ahead and show you guys around. If you start at the ship right here, you'll see a staircase off to the right. You can go up here, and this is a Future War Cult vendor. Now, there are 3 factions in the tower. There's Future War Cult, there's New Monarchy, and there's Dead Orbit. And these factions, basically, once you hit level 20, you can join them by buying one of their class items, which will vary if you're a Warlock, Titan, or Hunter. They also do sell armor, and they sell some weapons. and emblems and other things too. Now you level these guys up the same way you do the Vanguard. You can level them up through bounties and doing other things as long as you have their class item equipped. Now the only difference between the factions and the Vanguard is they take Crucible marks and Crucible commendations. And I can tell you Crucible marks are a lot harder to get than Vanguard marks in terms of the time it takes to get 150 to buy a weapon, or the 120 or 75 to buy a piece of armor. So that's something to keep in mind when you hit level 20. If you don't have a lot of time to put into the game, the factions are probably something you'd want to skip until you get to at least Vanguard rank 3. And then you can start working on the factions, because they do send you, after you clear rank 3 with any of the factions or the Vanguard, you do get a package in the mail that will contain some good items. Sometimes it's just materials, sometimes it's a weapon, sometimes it's a piece of armor. But you can do that with the factions. You can just level them to level 3 and keep leveling them and not even play the Crucible and just hope they send you something good. But to get the most out of them, you're going to have to play some PvP and get the Crucible marks, as you can see there, to purchase the armor. So that's the Future War Cult vendor, and most of their items, they're pretty good because they're intellect and discipline, which affect your grenade and super recharge times. And then strength affects your melee recharge, but a lot of people focus mainly on an intellect and discipline because you want your grenades to be up fast, you want your super to be up fast, you can generate orbs. So that's the Future War Cult. We're going to head back downstairs here. And then not far from the Future War Cult vendor, you will find another faction. This is Dead Orbit.
We stay busy.
And I'm not going to really spend much time telling you guys what faction you should join. That's kind of up to you, personal preference. You'll notice they have discipline and strength with their items. So that's going to be for your melee. And then you've got a couple different weapons here. These are all level 20. And you got your emblems and everything there.
Tell the others about us.
Now if you come down here, this is an area that's not used much. It's got like a neat little bar back in here. Sometimes Zer will be down here. He's a special vendor who comes on Friday at 4 a.m. Eastern Time, and he leaves on Sunday at 4 a.m. Eastern Time if you're in the U.S. But you got a kind of little lounge here. It's pretty neat. And sometimes Zer will be hanging out down here selling his items. Zer comes today or tonight, I guess. Well, tomorrow morning, but I'll still be up, so I could do a Zer video. So we're going to run back over. Oh, oops. Almost forgot about one of the most important vendors over here. Okay, over in this corner, you've got Ronnie 5530. He is the Vanguard Quartermaster. Now, as I said, as you level up Vanguard, he has weapons and some other things that he can sell you. Now, you'll notice still rank 0. When you hit Vanguard level or rank 3, you can actually purchase weapons here. These are 150 Vanguard marks. He's got some pretty decent weapons here, especially the heavy and the special. Plug 1 is an excellent fusion rifle. Secret Handshake's pretty solid shotgun. LDR 5001 is a great sniper, and then you've got a couple nice heavies here as well. He also sells Sparrows for 175. I would pass on these. In the current state of the game, Sparrows really are not a huge important thing. They're just more of a cosmetic, and they'll let you get to missions faster. Other than that, that's about it. Now you notice here he also has material exchange. You used to be able to trade in materials for marks. Now you can only trade marks for materials. So you can see you can get 20 spin metal for 10 Vanguard marks, 20 relic iron, 20 helium filaments, 20 spirit blooms. That eliminates a lot of the farming in the game and lets you level up your weapons a little bit faster and your armor as well. Now if you purchased the game and you got the Vanguard Armory as a pre-order bonus or bought it separately, you'll see up here he's got a Vanguard Armory slot. You may or may not have this, but he does offer at level 5 and level 10. He'll offer some uncommon weapons that are pretty much better than anything you can find right away. So it's always good if you have this to take advantage of that at level 5. Those weapons will usually last you a pretty couple of levels. And then at level 10, he's got another set that will pop up. And he's always got a helmet too for you, which you can kind of see. These have got a special Vanguard paint job on them. The only thing I really don't like about these is they don't have any perks. And a lot of the green uncommon weapons you'll find in the world, out in the world, they'll actually have some nice perk sets on them. So that's one drawback of that. But since I'm doing this as a new player guide, and a lot of you guys may not have this available, I'm probably not going to be using those for this playthrough. So that's the Vanguard Quartermaster. I believe that's that's everything on this side of the tower. So we're going to head back over here. And come back over to the middle section, and this is where your vault space is. There's a couple other vendors around here. Here we have Master Arul, and he is probably everyone's favorite person in the tower. He's the engram decoder. When you play the game, you'll get little engram drops in the game, and you'll bring them to him, and he'll decode them into, you know, whatever they are. So you'll notice here, like, he's got encoded engram for gauntlets. Just to kind of show you what happens, you purchase one, and he decodes it, and that became the Forester 2.1 R2, which is an armor piece. He's got the uncommon. I've never seen him sell anything better than uncommon. And even though I'm my Titan, I'm well over rank 40 on the Cryptarch, and I've never seen him offer any rare engrams or legendary engrams. This is a class item, Fieldcraft Hood, so you get to kind of get the idea. He'll have weapons, he'll have armor, and his stock refreshes. You see it's about to change here in about 15 seconds. So as long as you have Glimmer, you can come here and you can purchase some engrams. This is actually halfway decent when you're doing 1 to 20, because if, let's say, you can't find anything at the other vendors, if you want to try to upgrade a piece of armor, come here and see what he's got, and just, you know, you can, as there he refreshes, now he's got 2 uncommons. But you can come and pick, like, let's say you want to grab a chest piece, and he'll make a chest piece for you. And it may be better than what you've already got, it may not be, but it's a complete lottery system like everything else in the game, but it's a nice way to maybe get some gear as you're leveling from 1 to 20. So that's Master Arul. And we've already been over to see Banshee, the gun shop vendor. Now here's the vault. Now this is where you can store items, weapons, armor, general items. You can see mine's pretty much full, and for my hunter, since I had a 28, I had saved all of her gear, so I've got all this nice legendary gear waiting for me once I hit level 20. You can see you can store all your weapons, and these are all mostly level 20 guns. And a couple of exotics here too. And then over here you've got your materials you can store. Ooh, sapphire wire, that's for a hunter. I'll go ahead and grab that. Weapon parts, we'll need those. And you notice here you can store Sparrows and you can store ships. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab these because I had these off one of my other characters. You got some shaders, those will come in handy later. Now for your characters, you can, all 3 of your characters will have access to this vault. So you can store, like for example, if I want to use this scout rifle on my Titan, he can come in and pick this up, and then he can drop off a weapon and I can go in and grab it on my Warlock. And a good way to level up your guns when you hit level 20 and you're working on these legendaries is to basically run all the bounties and stuff with one character, drop that gun in the vault, pick it up with another character, run the bounties, run everything on each day, and just use all your characters to level up all your different weapons, since you can transfer them all between each other. It's a good strategy to use. So I went ahead and picked up, now you guys may not have, like I said, a ship right off the bat, but if you have ships on other characters, you can transfer them to the vault and then use them on a level 1 character. Same thing with emblems and ghost shells, even though there's only 2. And then my Sparrow here. And let's see. So that chest piece I got from the Cryptarch, you can see it's a level 4, so I won't be able to use that right away. And same thing with the gauntlets. You'll find that sometimes you won't be able to use items till you reach a certain level. So that's the vault space there. We went up to see Banshee already. And over here is the bounty tracker, Xander 9940. Very important that you get to know this guy. He will have bounties once you reach level 4. You can come here and pick up some bounties. These give you Vanguard reputation. They give you experience. If you're wearing a class item from one of the factions, you'll get faction reputation instead. And you can see he offers both Crucible bounties for PvP and also PvE bounties as well. But very important, you come and do those bounties every day once you get access to them. They'll help you level up faster. They'll help you level up your weapons. Very helpful. Okay, over here we have the Postmaster. Every so often you'll get a package, whether you hit rank 3 with the Vanguard or the Crucible or a faction or even the Cryptarch. You'll start getting packages after level 3 reputation, and they'll come here. You'll also get packages from finishing daily events, and these mostly just contain materials, and sometimes you'll get lucky and get some strange coins and legendary items. And you have Tess over here. She's a special orders vendor.
Okay.
If you had any kind of pre-order content or anything like that, you'll have all those items here. Like if I ordered the limited edition, so I've got the Valkyrie O5X, which is a legendary ship. It's pretty cool looking. And you can purchase, you see these are like 1 glimmer, so you can purchase all these items if you want. And a couple legendary shaders you can unlock with codes at Bungie.net. Same thing with the emblems. These were some codes that were available before the game released. If you went and entered those in, it gave you a couple of emblems. One of them you got for playing the beta. And the limited edition also came with the Frontier Shell, which is, as far as I know, one of, I think there's 3 ghost shells in the game, and one of them we can't get. The Intrusion Shell, and this is the Frontier Shell, which is only the second one I know of that you can actually acquire if you had that limited edition. This was the pre-order Sparrow from GameStop. And then you've got, if you bought the Dark Below DLC, you get the EV30 Tumbler, which is legendary Sparrow. Personally, I cannot stand the paint job on this. It looks like Redneck Optimus Prime from Michael Bay Transformers, but really just don't care for, that's why I don't even use it. I just hate the way it looks.
Goodbye.
So that's, anyways, that's Tess. Sometimes she'll have some items for you, sometimes, but you're probably not going to use her too often. Now, if you have the Dark Below DLC, this is Eris Morn. She is the contact with the new DLC.
Guardian.
And once you hit level 20, she's going to have a new quest for you, the Fist of Crota. That starts a whole different story chain with the Dark Below, which is a lot of fun. But I don't think you can actually play that to level 24. But in addition to that, she will have bounties every day. And you'll notice here, I can even pick these up starting right from level 2. These are going to be a little bit different than the Vanguard bounties. These are going to count towards your reputation with Eris Morn for Crota's Bane. Now, she has 4 ranks. On my Titan, I've been playing her since December, and I'm only at rank 3. She takes a long time to level up. So I would mainly focus on her with one character, because you can, again, purchase these items, put them in the vault, and then everybody can have them. And probably her coolest item is the sun-setting armor shader. You can't get that till rank 4, though, unfortunately, which is 4,000 reputation with her after you hit the first 3 ranks. Takes a while. She's also got some class items, and she's got some supplies down here that you'll unlock at different ranks. You'll need these to upgrade Murmur and the Husk of the Pit, which are two Hive-themed weapons you can get later on. Actually, Husk of the Pit we can get now, but it's just a random drop. And she sells heavy ammo synth and special ammo synth, radiant shards and radiant energy, which go to upgrade raid weapons and armor with the new Crota raid. And that's pretty much it for Eris. She'll have some really fun quests for you, though, once you hit level 20 and start to get into the end game. So we'll definitely be focusing on her a little bit once we get our hunter up there. Alright, so we're going to head over to the other wing of the tower here. And over here you have the speaker, and there's another faction. Sometimes Zero will be over here by this door, which they haven't actually opened this area up yet. A lot of us are wondering what's back here, because you can definitely see there's a whole bunch of stuff, a whole other area of the tower, so we're just wondering what they're going to have back there. So if you come back here, you've got Ava Levante. She's an outfitter,
Okay.
and she will have different emblems that you can purchase if you want. Purely cosmetic items, but some of them look pretty cool. And you'll notice they just require glimmer. So if you want to upgrade your emblem, you can come here and purchase one. And then she'll have shaders. Shaders you won't be able to use to level 20, but they are armor shaders. And will give you kind of a neat look. A lot of these, in my personal opinion, are just crap. They look terrible. But there's some cool ones too. Thunder Devil is probably one of the better looking ones in the game. Of course, right now you can't tell because I don't have any good armor. But anyway, she'll usually have these same 6. She does rotate them every so often. There's 2 other ones. I think Broadsword, and then there's a green one that she'll have. But she usually rotates the same, set of shaders every week or every time she refreshes. All right, and over here we've got New Monarchy. Another faction. This is the one of the 3 factions here. And same deal with them as the other ones. You've got a couple different weapons. New Monarchy, like I said, I'm not going to try to sway you guys to anyone, but personally I think they have some of the better weapons in the game. On my main character, I started with Future War Cult, but then switched over to New Monarchy, and they've got, especially the Vanquisher, that's one of the better auto rifles that's still in the game after the Dark Below. And more armor, and then their class item, which is a pretty cool looking cloak there.
If you know anyone who's interested, send them our way.
Hunter.
Alright, so then if you come over here, you've got
Sector secure.
the speaker, who's kind of in his mad scientist lab over here doing, we have no idea what. This guy's actually pretty shady. You'll see that in the next mission I do. We'll get more into the speaker there, but we're really not sure what his motives are, what this guy does. He says he speaks for the Traveler, but we have no clue, really. He could be a bad guy. He could be a good guy. Who knows? But he has some class items. When you get Motes of Light, which are another form of currency in the game, you'll get those for experience and leveling up. After you hit level 20, your experience will go towards earning Motes of Light. You'll find them in chests. You'll get them from blue engrams. All kinds of way to get these. But he's got some pretty cool items. If you want to spend those Motes of Light, he's got some really neat, that's a very cool looking hunter cloak there. I like that. And these will rotate every so often. That's pretty cool looking. And then he's got a couple of other ones here. He's also got Titan and Warlock class items as well. And these look pretty cool. But again, just pure cosmetic. There's really no function for those in the game. And then he's got a few more. These are legendary level emblems if you want to have a stand out a little bit. These cost 7 Motes of Light. And again, it was rumored that these had some effect on drop rates and other things in the game, but I think that's mostly been debunked. So don't believe any of that stuff. And just buy these if you want something that looks cool. And that's it for the speaker. Sometimes he'll have quests you turn into him and some other things. But that's pretty much it. So that, for right now, is the tour of the tower. Oh, we forgot the Crucible guy. Hang on one second. Make sure I'm going the right way here. Yeah, I should have stopped by this guy back when we were at the Vanguard Mentors, but I completely forgot. Because personally, I don't use, when I do PvP, I mostly use the factions, so I hardly ever go to the Crucible Vendors. But we'll show you guys that just so you know where to go. Crucible Vendor is going to be back down here near your Vanguard Mentors, and you've got 2 of them. You've got Lord Shax here. He's the Crucible handler. He runs the Crucible, and it's just some pretty hilarious stuff if you stand around him long enough. But he will have Crucible armor, which you can buy with Crucible marks after you hit rank 2. These are intellect and strength, discipline and strength. So these vary a little bit more than the other. You can see you've got intellect, strength, discipline, strength on your chest. And same for the other armor. So personally what I would do, decide how you want to run your build. If you want to focus on melee, if you want to focus on recharging your grenades or super, and then pick your faction or Vanguard accordingly so you can, level up and get the armor you want. It's got the perks you want as well. This is the Quartermaster for the Crucible. He's just like the Vanguard, but he's got some different Sparrows there. Again, you can exchange materials or marks for materials here. And then he's got some different weapons here, which from what I've seen so far, his weapons are a little bit better than the Vanguard. You've got some pretty solid guns here that he offers.
Catch you later.
Alright, so that's pretty much it for our tour of the tower. We're going to head back to orbit here. And I'm going to go ahead and end this video, guys. It's running a bit long here, so I don't want to get into the next part just yet. Going to go ahead and cut this one out here, and when I come back, the next episode we're going to do of this, we're going to jump back into the gameplay and the campaign. Sorry if this was a little boring, but I just wanted to kind of show you around the tower a little bit so you have a better idea of what to do when you're there. So anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And I will see you again for the next episode.